It's a really gray, cloudy, misty, foggy day, and it actually makes for perfect photography conditions.
In the cold kitchen light, we both look for a sign, and you say, these are troubles of mine. Weary thoughts of breaking up.
Now, while I hope you guys have picked up some great tips and tricks from my photography videos up to this point, I also want this channel to focus on the emotional and mental journey of landscape photography. You see, landscape photography for me, besides having the opportunity to get out there and explore these beautiful parks and get a good image and be in tune with nature, it's also very therapeutic for me, and it's something that I've relied on heavily in the past year to deal with a lot of emotional issues that I've had. So in landscape photography, you often find yourself hiking long distances. Perhaps the sun hasn't risen yet, or the sun has already set, and you find yourself miles away from where you're camping or have parked your car. It's in moments like these that I begin to do something that I believe many of us don't spend enough time doing, and that's self-reflection. What's on your mind? What are you feeling? How okay are you with who you are? Are you at peace with the past? How are the relationships you have in your life? These kinds of things, the big topics, the sometimes scary topics, they are so important to think about and be aware of. Self-reflection, the opportunity to work out many things going on in my life, emotionally and mentally while doing landscape photography, is the one thing that I find most helpful.
And I know that will always be true. There were no reasons why. I guess all beauty must die. We try hard, but we also were home so reckless. There were no reasons why. I guess all beauty must die. We try hard, but we also were home so reckless.
Well, I've framed up my first composition of the day, and it's a really gray, cloudy, misty, foggy day, and it actually makes for perfect photography conditions. I love shooting woodland in these types of conditions. And I've focused my composition on one single tree. And the foreground interest too is quite nice. It's these dead fields of yellow grass, and it makes a nice contrast with the main subject. And the overall mood of this image is just really gray and misty and foggy. I really love how it's turning out. So f11 ISO 100, really simple image. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it now. In landscape photography, you will technically fail more than you will succeed. I guarantee it. But this is not a bad thing. It will help you grow as a human being and overcome one of the biggest fears most of us have, and that is fear of failure. A little over a year ago, I purchased my first home. I had a good paying job and a high ranking job title. I was textbook successful. But I began to get sick, and at 24 years old, I was suffering from severe high blood pressure. The stresses of my job, the hours, the never-ending race to possess more material goods and climb up the corporate ladder had sickened me. I decided to quit my job, and I began to drastically change my life to a more minimalistic approach. I went to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and spent 2 weeks self-reflecting on what success was and how afraid I had been of failure. Failure. I had done everything in my power for so long to not fail, but in reality, I just didn't really understand what success was. So I've come to another area of this park where there's more trees surrounding the entire scene. And this area here is absolutely beautiful during the summer and the springtime. All the flowers are blooming and all, the trees are full of leaves. But in the wintertime, everything dies. And in this day, where there's so much fog in the sky and just it's all gray, I think it's making for a really nice composition in this particular area. So I've framed up another image, and I'm focused on one primary tree, and right behind it follows these 4 other trees slightly out of focus. And the fog is it's really creating some beautiful mood to this image, and the foreground interest has some contrasting colors. So f11, ISO 100, really simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it now. By the time this video goes out, I will be in Zion National Park. My next video series will be from this location. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch my episode this week. If you enjoyed this video, please like and comment below. So what do you think about when you're out photographing? I'd love to know. And if you're visiting my channel for the first time, please consider subscribing. Until next week, take care everyone.
And I know that we'll all